Hi, it's Alaska Granny. It's important to follow the news and to get it from several sources so that you can try to glean for yourself what is actually really going on. If we look at the Russia-Ukraine conflict, which we don't really know what's going to happen, we have to rely on what the news is telling us. And they've been telling us Russia's going to invade. We need to send all kinds of support to Ukraine and to our NATO allies. So since it seems like they are lessening the conflict in the area, you have to wonder, what did Russia gain by having this conflict build up and then pull back? What did they gain? They've gotten a guarantee that Ukraine is not going to be able to join the NATO nations. What did Ukraine get out of this? Free military supplies. Many nations sent armaments and military supplies to Ukraine so that they could defend themselves if they needed to. We don't need to look very far back to what happened recently to see where another country was actually armed by the United States when they pulled out and left all of their supplies behind. Next, let's look at what the White House is reporting that Biden has said to the nation to tell us what is going on and explain to us. He says, "We're willing to make practical, results-oriented steps that can advance our common security. We will not sacrifice basic principles, though. Nations have a right to sovereignty and territorial integrity. They have the freedom to set their own course and choose with whom they associate." There are many in America that feel like our sovereign nation has not been protecting its own country. If Russia does invade in the days or weeks ahead, the human cost for Ukraine will be immense, and the strategic cost for Russia will also be immense. If you do look back several years when Russia invaded Ukraine and claimed Crimea for itself, that was a similar thing to what was happening in the buildups today. There were 6 casualties, 3 civilians, 2 soldiers, and 1 Ukraine trooper. Compare that to the Euromaidan protests that took place in Kiev, just the protests within their own country. They had 123 protesters and 18 police officers that were killed. Compare that to the BLM protests that took place in America, and by November 2020, they were labeled peaceful and non-destructive, yet there were almost $2 billion worth of insured losses that insurance companies paid out, and 25 deaths. So Biden continues, "While I will not send American servicemen to fight Russia in Ukraine, we have supplied the Ukrainian military with equipment to help them defend themselves. We have provided training and advice and intelligence for the same purpose." Make no mistake, the United States will defend every inch of NATO territory with the full force of American power. An attack against one NATO country is an attack against all of us, and the United States' commitment to Article 5 is sacrosanct. If Russia attacks the United States or its allies through asymmetric means like disruptive cyber attacks against our companies or critical infrastructure, we are prepared to respond. So are they going to help fight, or are they not going to help fight? It certainly sounds like there are a lot of reasons why they would decide it's still okay to go ahead and proceed in a military fashion. If we do not stand for freedom where it is at risk today, we'll surely pay a steeper price tomorrow. I'm reading between the lines that we could be on the precipice of some very dangerous, difficult times. We need to make sure as preppers that we have the things that we need to stay safe in our own homes, to feed our family, to provide the day-to-day necessities that we need. We know that crime is going up, so the possibility that you will need to protect and defend yourself and your family, your property, seems to be an ever-increasing risk. So while I don't like where these words are going, these events, what they're leading to, It's only prudent that we realize we need to be prepared more now than ever. These are very dangerous and concerning times, and we need to do everything we can to stay aware of what is happening and prepare accordingly. If you liked my video, I hope you'll share it with someone else you think might like it. Please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.